want to help those in need. And many of those in need are our young people. But sometimes when we think about our young people and we communicate with them, we get some kind of views that perhaps we don't listen to because we can't communicate with them. Just to give you an example, we're right now in the quarantine, and just prior to that I spoke with a group of young people, and we were speaking about the area of which Greater Detroit Community Outreach Center is about, and that is preventing teenage parenthood. And we had, I thought, a very good interlogue, and we talked about responsibilities and building on the future, and how having a child at a young age, and this hampers it, can make it difficult. Doesn't mean that they can't succeed, but at the same time, it would responsible decisions and responsible behavior as it relates to dealing with the opposite sex is what we want. And those values should be the values that are presented in your homes, individual values. Now, when I talked to them, I thought we had a very good interlay, and the young people, they were very energetic about speaking with it, wanted to keep speaking about more. And we had to cut it off, and we were getting ready to leave, and a young man, he had a very infectious smile. He came up to me, he said, Dr. Rippey, it's all about money and ain't nothing funny. You got to have a con in this land of milk and honey. Booyah! Now, ladies and gentlemen, I gave him the high five and said, yes, great. And but quite frankly, I just didn't understand what he was saying at first. But then I says, okay, let me just think for a minute. I got to myself and I just said, let me just think. And he says, it's all about money and ain't nothing funny. So I thought about it, and I says, well, that makes sense. It is. I mean, try to do something. Just ask Greater Detroit about that. We were the experts of trying to do it without money. But, it's like it's very difficult to take on any undertaking without some kind of money, some kinds of means of getting started. So I understand that part. And like I said, he says, ain't nothing funny. Well, it's not funny. As I said, you try to do something without money. And so that part, I understood. But then he says, you got to have a con in this land of milk and honey. You got to have a con. Now what does he mean? But then I thought about it. That's how we grow, through capitalism, right? You see in a situation that you can do better, or you can feel like you can make money in it better by providing a better service. So you got to figure out a way to get that person or those people to direct their attention, their monies towards you. So and to be honest about it, to come to mind right now, I think about those you've seen them, those dog commercials when they have these little puppy dogs that are being mistreated, and they show pictures of those little dogs, and they're just shaking, and they show their eyes, and boy, you want to reach in your pocket right now. I'm gonna write me a check. But the point is, they had a means of reaching you. But then I thought about what we're talking about: prevention programs, service programs, and I pulled out my Google. And are there any programs that prevent the dogs? Is there a prevention program? And Google pulled up a whole bunch of them. The Dog Squad. I said, what is the dog? Read about the Dog Squad. The people go out and they stop the people from dog fighting, and they arrest the people. And then there's the Neuterville, where they neuter the dog. They're all kind of prevention programs. But this program that says, got those little dogs shaking, and you look at those little dogs, and it makes you. They had a nice little commercial. I wouldn't call it a con, but the point is they had to have some money to get the commercial, and they're one of the largest organizations in this country in terms of nonprofit organizations trying to help in this particular area, prevent the dogs. So he was right on that point. You got to have a means of being better, capitalizing on your situation where the other ones don't. The prevention programs are not as large. No, I looked at they're not nearly as large as this one that services that problem. Then finally, in this land, he said, in this land of milk and honey. Now, that, I understand that part. If you can get some money, if you can market your product, you're in the land of milk and honey. But I didn't get it at first because he was, and he was doing the rap. But I see, so the point I'm trying to make is our young people, they do have a lot to offer. They do have a lot in terms of building our future. And we just have to listen to them. And believe it or not, I saw this young man about a couple weeks later. I saw him at the Mickey D's. And I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, do you remember?" He said, "Yes, I remember you." And then I says, "Look, I get it. I get it. It's responsible decisions in our lives in terms of building a future. We have to listen to the young people." And then he looked at me with a sense of, I guess it's bewilderment is the best word, because he couldn't understand what I was talking about. And then he explained to me. He says, "Well, I was talking about the girls that I knew that were teen moms. They didn't do it by my mistake. I mean, they did it, but they did it to get over, to get a place, to get out of the house, to have a place of their own." And I listened to him, and he says that's what he was talking about. And then I looked at him, and I tried to act like I don't understand what you're saying, but he was just simply saying that was the con that they were putting down, that those people, that young ladies that he knew. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we gave the high five, and he went on, and I don't know. I looked at it and I says, "Hey, we got to listen to the young people. We got to figure out a way to get to them and reach them in terms of listening and then following up on what we're saying." So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Creighton Rippey. I'm the director of the Greater Detroit Community Outreach Center here in Detroit, Michigan. You can give us a call at 313-891-7030 or look us up on the World Wide Web. That's GreaterDetroitOutreach.org. Thank you for looking in.